Hi, I'm Robin. This is Yoga Bliss. Today's Vinyasa flow is going to focus on the hips, more specifically hip rotation. The deep six muscles, they call it, which connect the hip and the femur together and help with external opening or abduction of the hip. So we're going to be doing a lot of hip work to strengthen and also to stretch, building up to kind of a peak pose of Warrior 3 into Half Moon, and so I'll coach you through it. I'm trying out some new audio because the sound sometimes isn't that great, so I'm going to try with my AirPods. I know it sounds like I might be in a bit of a tunnel, but maybe the quality will be a little bit better than what it usually is. Hopefully the dogs will be settled down, and with the AirPods, maybe you won't hear as many squeaky toys, so we'll try it. All right, let's get started. We're going to start, as we usually do, just on the mat, just to allow yourself a few minutes to become grounded. So resting your sit bones, the bottom of those hip bones of your pelvis on the mat, and just relaxing your shoulders, kind of lifting them up and down. I invite you to just gently close your eyes. Just take a moment to settle down and be here in this moment. If you set an intention with your practice, I invite you to do so now. It could maybe be the goal that you want. Maybe it's just to focus on the hips. Maybe it's just to be present, just to breathe. Perhaps a mantra. Just allowing yourself to settle in. And gently open your eyes. We're just going to take some deep breaths, belly breaths, letting our belly expand as we inhale and exhale. This time, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Let's do that one more time. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And now we're going to take a deep breath in through the belly. Then we're going to fill the ribs. Keep inhaling, filling the chest. And now exhale the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Let's do that one more time. Inhale the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Exhale the chest, the ribs, the belly. Try that one more time on your own. Just take a moment to have an inventory of how you feel. Just checking in with yourself. Maybe there's some aches, maybe there's pain, maybe you feel relaxed after a couple breaths. Just taking note of that. And to get started, we're going to roll onto our hands and knees into tabletop position. I'm going to move Baxter off my mat real quick. Put him back in his bed. Okay. So tabletop here. Making sure our hips are over our knees. Our wrists are under our shoulders. We're strong through the hips and the arms. And we're going to just take it to cat-cow, inhaling as we open the chest. And exhaling as we round the back, really pushing up from the mat. Inhale, open to cow. Exhale, round the back to cat. And keep going at your own pace with your own breath. Really exaggerate that movement, warming up the spine. And one more. Inhaling, open. Exhale, round. And bringing it back to tabletop. Engaging the spine And warming up the hips to get ready for our practice, we're going to extend the right leg straight back, keeping the hips facing down. And lengthening out the left arm, reaching, hold this balance here, engaging the bandhas, those energy locks of the body, just a few inches below your belly button, pulling that in. And slowly drop it down. On the other side, we're going to extend the left leg back, being mindful of your pelvis, understanding where it is in space. That'll help us through our flow, extending out the right arm here, holding that balance. Engaging the bandhas, watching that back, making sure it's nice and strong, and slowly drop it down. Again, with the right foot, left arm, we're going to hold here, and then we're going to bring in the elbow and the knee around the back, balance while kind of working the core as you bring it in. Extend it back one more time. Extend it back and slowly drop down, other side. Pull it in. Breathing in and breathing out here, extending back. We're going to start to warm up the hips. So to do that, we're going to take the right leg, bending the knee, and just taking it to a leg lift. And we're going to lift it up and down, and just up and down, bringing the knee up a little bit past the hips, and then down. Last one. And drop it down other side, lifting it up and down. Again, good glute work as well. Just kind of warming up. We're really going to work deep within the hips. And now back to the right side, we're going to take what in some fitness classes they call a fire hydrant, where you're lifting your leg up to the side. So you're going to lift up here and down. Just trying that, lift up and down. And these are the muscles, those deep six muscles. Your piriformis is one of them that we're going to target today. Let's do two more. Lift up and down. And now same thing on the left side. So this is hip abduction, opening up the hip, the angle of the hip, pulling the legs away from the center line of the body. So hip abduction, we're going to work a lot on that. So just kind of understanding, see where your hips are today, feeling that. Slowly drop it down. We're going to put those two together. So we're going to lift the right leg up, and then we're going to swing it kind of to the front into that fire hydrant and down. So it's going to look like this. Lift up, open the hip, and down. One more time. Lift up, open the hip, and down. And again, so this is the action we're going to do when we're on our feet. Let's try the other side. So we're going to lift up, open the hip, and down. Again, lift up and back. Bring it to the side and down. Up and to the back, to the side, and down. Last one. You can really start to feel deep in your glute, that movement. So we're going to stretch it out. We're going to bring the right leg up, extend that left arm, reach the left arm around, grab the foot, pull the foot up, a little balance as well as a stretch here through the front side of the body, tiger pose. Slowly drop it down. Other side, bringing that left leg up, right arm comes out, reach around, grab the foot, lift if you can. And drop it down. Curling the toes under, taking it to a down dog. Pushing back, opening up through the shoulders. So you really want to kind of roll, keep going. You really want to kind of roll your shoulders open. Pull your shoulder blades down. Pressing back. The goal is not necessarily your heels down. If your heels can't touch, that's fine. Bent knees is fine. The length of the spine is what we're going for here. So pressing back into down dog. You can take a few moments to walk the dog. Your calves are tight. Need a little extra warm up there. Going to bring it forward into a plank. Hold here. pushing up through the arms, strong through the core. Push back into down dog. Bring it back into plank. Getting the hips continuing to warm up. We're going to take it to a three-legged dog. So right leg's going to come up. Bring the knee into the chest. So now it's like a three-legged plank. Push back to that three-legged dog and drop it down. Other side, left leg comes up. Bring that knee to the chest and hold. Press it back, three-legged dog. One more time. And press it back to down dog. Now slowly and with control, we're going to lift up the hips onto our tippy toes. We're going to walk our toes in between our hands. Forward fold here. Take a few minutes to let the hips release. So again, if it's still early in the practice, you want to bend your knees. If you can't have straight legs, that's fine. Hands don't always come down. If you have a block or a pillow, you can use that as well. Bringing it to halfway lift. Extend the spine out from the hips. Exhale down. We're going to lift forward. You can bend the knees if you need to. Lifting up. Bringing hands to heart center and sitting it back into a chair. So again, nice and strong, getting the hips ready. We're going to take the hands down to the knees. We're just going to simulate a deadlift. So we're going to take it as far down as you can. And then we're going to stand up, keeping the hands on the legs. So they're going to just trace down the legs. So if you had a barbell, like you were doing a deadlift here, hold at the bottom and bring it up. Just pressing on the outside of the knee, taking it down the leg, bringing it back up, and last time, down, hold here. Bring the hands back to the chest, holding this chair. So nice and strong, lengthen through the back. You don't want to have a curved back, sticking your hips out. You want to be nice and strong, lifting up here. You're going to inhale and twist to your right. So your left leg is going to hook on that right knee. Your left knee is going to want to push out. Make sure to pull it back. Keep those knees even. Bring back to the center. Other side. I think with the AirPods, you're going to hear my breathing a lot more. So I can't do good ujjayi breathing and talk at the same time. So again, just an experiment with the sound. Hopefully it won't be too annoying. Bringing it back to the center and standing it up and coming down to Tadasana. All right, coming to the top of the mat, starting with sun salutations because I think they're a great warm-up. And we really want to start warming up those hips before we get into the work. We're going to do sun salutation B, which has the chair and the warrior one on each side. So we'll only do them 2 times, and then we'll go right into our flow. So taking our attention to our breath, starting our ujjayi breathing, which is in through the nose, out through the nose with sound, victorious breath, feeling it roll in the back of your throat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back, chaturanga down, or knees, chest, chin. Pushing forward, coming up into up dog or cobra. Pushing back, down dog. Inhale the right foot forward, stepping forward, dropping that left heel, coming up, warrior one. Exhale down, step back, chaturanga down, or knees, chest, chin. Again, you can make the workout what you need. Push it back, down dog. Inhale, left foot steps forward. Rise up into warrior one. Right heel falls at an angle. Exhale down, step back, chaturanga, up dog or cobra. Press down, down dog. Taking a few moments here just to check in with yourself. Connecting back to the ujjayi breathing. On your next inhale, look forward, bend your knees, walk, step, or hop to the top. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, hips back to chair. Standing back to Tadasana. Again, inhale to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step back, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Press back, down dog. Right foot comes forward into warrior one. Left heel goes down, rise up. Exhale down. Step back into plank. Up dog or cobra. Press it back, down dog. Bring that left foot forward. Right heel goes down. Strong as you rise up into warrior one. Exhale down. Step back. Chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Down dog. Again, taking a few moments. Connect with your breath. Feel the mat underneath you. Grounded in this moment. On your next inhale, look forward, bend your knees, walk, step, or float to the top. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, hips back into chair. Exhale, Tadasana. Going right into our flow. Sitting back into chair. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Down dog. Step the right foot forward. Coming up into a crescent this time. So both feet are facing forward. Where warrior, your ankle drops here, your heel, I should say, drops here. Your heel is up in that back leg. Both knees are forward. Strong through the torso, lifting up through the hips. Remembering that cat-cow. So do a little bit of a half cat just to make sure your pelvis is kind of neutral and strong. Shoulders are down, lifting up into this crescent. Nice and strong. We're going to slow and with control put weight on that front leg, and we're going to step up, bringing hands to heart center as we bring the knee up. And again, with control, stepping the foot back into crescent. Once again, lifting up, knee lift, stepping back into crescent. This time we're going to lift the knee, and we're going to do that hip turn just like we did in the warm-up. Now we're taking our hip out. I'm just going to turn to the front so you can see. So we're coming up with the knee, and then we lift it to the side. Bringing it back to the front, step it back into crescent. One more time, lift up. Open the hip abduction, back to the front, taking it back to crescent. This time, we're going to cartwheel the hands down, frame the foot, step it back into plank, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga down. Up dog or cobra. Press it to down dog. Left foot steps forward. Same thing, other side, starting on that crescent. Nice and strong. Checking in with your pelvis. Lifting up from the hips. Checking in with your breath here. Putting the weight on the front leg as you step up. You can bring your hands to heart center. If you want to challenge your balance, you can keep them up here. Step back to crescent. Bring it back up, hold, back to crescent. This time we're going to take it up, open to the side, bring it back in, step back, and again up, over to the side, bring it back in, and step it back to crescent. Great job. Taking it down, step it back to plank. Knees, chest, chin, up dog, down dog, holding this down dog for just a second. Taking nice deep breaths. This time we're going to lift the right leg, swing it through, take it back to the crescent, Lift up nice and strong. Hold that crescent pose. Lean forward a little bit, putting the weight on that front leg, bringing the knee up, and we're going to take it right into tree. So this can be a nice low tree. This doesn't have to be your normal tree. If you have a tree and you fold your legs up here, it's just fine because this is just the beginning. The point of this tree at the beginning is we're just checking in with our hips. So we're still getting warmed up, really opening up that hip. So it's important that you're not letting your hips swing. Hips are staying to the front. We're opening up, using those deep six muscles to wrap that glute around, open up the hip. So just notice how this feels. Notice how this tree feels. We're going to do it at the end of the flow and just see the opening of our hips. Just holding that tree for a second. Bring the knee back to the front. Step it back to crescent. Take the hands down. Step it back. Chaturanga down. Up dog. Down dog. Left leg goes up and through. Coming up to crescent on this side. Again, holding that crescent for a moment. Shifting your weight a little forward as you bring the knee up. Open up, taking it right to tree on this side. So again, doesn't have to be. In fact, I'd prefer if it was on your calf, just so you can get a sense of where you are with your hip and then see the difference at the end of the flow. So opening up, making sure that tree is not twisting you, but you're working those deep six muscles to open up that hip. Good job. Bring the knee back to the front. Step it back to crescent. And hands come down. Optional vinyasa here, or you can meet us back in down dog. At this down dog, we're going to step the right foot forward, drop the left heel, come up, warrior one. So now again, working on that hip abduction. You can feel the opening of your hip here because your hips are facing forward, but your leg is open. So you can hopefully feel that in your hip flexors. Holding this warrior one, reaching up, feel the power of this pose. And just like in crescent, we're going to lean forward on this front leg, and we're going to take it right into a warrior three. So your hands can be out in front. If that's too much, you can bring to heart center. If you need a block, you can do that too, especially if you find yourself kind of opening up here. Your hips should be facing towards the ground. Reaching through. If you need to take your arms back or airplane, you can do that as well. Holding that warrior three. Slowly dropping the foot down, bringing it back to a warrior one. Hold the warrior one. Hands go down, optional vinyasa here, or you can meet back in down dog. Again, you can make this workout as much or as little as you need. Stepping the left foot forward, right heel goes down, lift up, warrior one. I like these vinyasa flows to get my heart up a little bit while stretching and strengthening, but not everybody does. Holding that warrior one, nice and strong. Feel that opening. And that back leg, shifting the weight onto the front leg, left leg, coming right up, warrior three, hips are facing down, reach, as if somebody had your hand and your foot and they're lengthening you. Slow and controlled, come back to warrior one. Optional vinyasa here, or meet back in down dog. Keep moving with the flow, taking the right leg up and bringing it through, dropping it down, coming up, back in to the warrior one. Now we're going to open up into warrior two. Now our hips are facing more to the front. For me, facing you, all right. Open up into warrior two. Nice and strong. Feel the length Reaching strong arms here. Cartwheeling the hand down. Optional vinyasa. Taking it to the other side. Left leg comes up. Step the left leg through. Coming up, warrior one. Back heel drop. Open up, warrior two. Cartwheel the hands back down, optional vinyasa. Again, lots of vinyasas in this flow. This time we're just going to step the right foot forward, drop the heel down, coming up, warrior one. Shift the weight onto that front leg, take it into warrior three. Stepping that foot down, opening up, warrior two. And now from warrior two, we're going to take it to a half moon. So half moon, it's a balance pose. You might want a block if you have one. So from warrior two, you put your right hand on the outside of the right foot, maybe at like a 2 o'clock. And then with control, lifting up. And this is the hip abduction. The hip abduction, think about that fire hydrant move, is actually occurring in that right hip. Sometimes we cue from this left leg and saying, open this up, but it's actually the right hip that's opening. So think to hit your right hip, open it up like that fire hydrant using those same muscles as the tree, and open it up. You can look up at your hand, neutral, or look down. And slow and controlled, we're going to step it back into warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down, optional vinyasa here. Up dog or cobra. Push it back. Step the left leg straight through. Right heel goes down. Warrior one here. Use the power of this leg as you shift up. Take it right to warrior three. Slow and controlled. Step the foot back into warrior two. If you need a block, I'm a little wobbly today, so I need all the support I can get. Open up to warrior two. And then take that left hand outside of the left foot. And again, open that left hip, just like that fire hydrant. Open that left hip, just like the tree. Hip abduction here on the left, slow and controlled. Coming back to warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down, optional vinyasa. Bring the right foot forward. We're going to do it one more time, coming up into warrior one. This time, we can take the warrior two out. So it's up to you. So warrior one, we're going to come up to reverse warrior, getting a lot of work on that leg. And sorry, I said reverse warrior, warrior three. And from warrior three, taking it right to half moon. If you're not comfortable with this, put the warrior two in. So you put your right hand down and open right to half moon. Hip abduction on that right hip. Open. Think about the tree, the fire hydrant, lifting from that right hip. Slow and controlled, bending that front knee, taking it back to warrior two. Straightening that front leg. Let's take it right to triangle. So both legs are straight. Same feet as in warrior. You can look up at your hands or straight ahead or even down at your feet. Micro bend in the knees is good and helpful. A block is good and helpful. There's a lot going on here in this triangle pose. Just taking a moment to take it all in. Find your breath. Slowly come back to warrior two. Turn that front palm up. Take it back. Reverse warrior. Great job. Cartwheel the hands down. Optional vinyasa here. Or you can just meet back in down dog. Taking that left foot to the front, right heel goes down, warrior one. Shifting the weight on the front, lifting the back leg, warrior three. And from here, if you're comfortable going into half moon, or you can add the warrior two, again, opening up that left hip. Hip abduction on the left hip. Control, really focus on that hip. Think of a fire hydrant move. Open up and feel the strength coming from that left hip. And slow and with control, bending that left knee, dropping the right foot back. Warrior two here. Palm comes up. Reverse warrior. Hand can come down your leg or into your pocket here. I forgot the triangle, didn't I? So take it back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg and take your left arm down, right arm straight up, lifting up into triangle. Again, you can look up at your fingers, neutral or down at the ground, lifting up through the side body here, feeling that stretch and strengthen in your hip, your oblique. Bending that front knee, taking it to warrior two, and let's just take it again to warrior, reverse warrior. Cartwheel those hands down. Optional vinyasa, we're almost done. Up dog or cobra, down dog. This time we're gonna lift the right leg up. Hold it up there. Bend the knee and open the hips. So we usually say open the hips, right? Like stack the hips. But think about that same movement we've been talking about, the fire hydrant, that hip abduction. And you can actually feel it on the left hip. That left hip, when you think about it, is opening up and abducting, right? Bring the knee through, step it through to the hands, come back up to crescent. Strong crescent where we started. Putting the weight on the front leg, shifting forward, coming into tree. So just like we talked about, coming back to tree. So now if you're used to coming a little bit higher, you can do that. And just feel the difference in your hip. Maybe there isn't any. Maybe there isn't none. Maybe there isn't any. Maybe you felt fine before we started. Perhaps you feel some opening. Perhaps you feel some more control, strength in your hip. I know I do. It feels much warmer. Holding the tree, you can bring the arms up and out, waving around like trees do, and slowly dropping down, stepping back into crescent. Taking the hands down, optional vinyasa. Going to do the same thing on the other side. This time lifting the left leg up into that three-legged dog. Bending the knee and now opening that left hip. And really feel that abduction in the right hip as you open and drop back the left. That's probably caused some confusion on that one. Bring the knee into the chest. Bring it between the hands. Come back to crescent. Weight goes onto the front. Step it forward. Come up into tree on this side. Feel the difference. Really working with those deep six to rotate that femur in the hip. Open up your hip here. Hold. And bring it up. Feel the difference. Just a few minutes to check in with yourself. Bring hands back to heart center. And stay with feet together at the top of the mat. Let's step the left foot straight back. Both feet are facing forward. We're going to start stretching it out, we're going to bring both hands behind the back into reverse prayer. If that's too much, you can just grab elbows, open up the chest here, lengthen through the spine, going forward with the chest into pyramid pose. It's going to start stretching out the hips that we work so hard on. And slowly lift up. Step both feet together. You can keep your hands. If you're grabbing your elbows, maybe change the grip. Step the right foot back. Both legs are straight. Open up the chest. Lean forward. Pyramid pose here. And slowly come up. Taking the feet a little bit wider than mat distance, we're going to come down into Malasana, which is just a squat, stretching out the hips, pressing the elbows into the inside of the knee and lifting the chest up, really lifting from the lower back. Holding here in Malasana. Again, stretching out the muscles that we really focused on. Hip abduction. And then slow with control, putting the hands down, leaning forward, kind of hips up, stepping back into tabletop as we cross the feet and sit it on our bottom. Taking it to a wide leg stretch. So getting comfortable as much as possible. Taking the hands to the front and just walking them out a little bit into wherever you feel comfortable and feel the stretch through your inner thighs and your hips, your glutes. Just relaxing down. Coming back to your breath, in through your nose and out through your nose. If you need to take a few cleansing breaths, you can do that, which is in through your nose and out through your mouth. Slowly coming up. We're going to walk the hands to the right side, reach for the right leg, the right foot, twist a little bit so you're over that leg, lean forward, side stretch here. Slowly come up and to the other side, going down that left leg, grabbing your toes if you can. If not, right here is fine. Wherever you feel the stretch. Slowly come up. This time we're going to take the right hand down the right leg. Going to lift and turn the chest as we lift the left arm up and over to a wide side leg stretch here. And you'll feel this again through your obliques, possibly in your back. Really kind of look up and up to the ceiling, really opening your chest. Slowly coming up, taking the left arm down the left leg, opening up that right arm and kind of looking up into your right elbow, turning the chest up. Really coming back to the center. Bring your feet in. Feet together, coming just to a butterfly. Sitting up straight, keeping your back straight. Just going to lean forward. So sometimes we can lean like this and get more of a stretch through the back. This time we're going to keep our back straight and just lean. It's not as deep, but it's stretching out the hips. And back to your breath. Slowly come up. We're going to roll forward, crossing our feet, coming back to the tabletop. And then taking our knees to the outside of the mat, sitting back into wide leg child's pose. And from here, in just a few breaths, we're going to take it to frog, which is a pretty intense, deep stretch. Not for everybody. It may be uncomfortable for you, so you can always hold wide leg child's pose here. But if you'd like to try frog, I'm going to turn to the front just so you can see. Depending on what surface you're on, you want to stay on your mat. And so just like wide leg child's pose, our legs are out, but this time our feet are going to be flexed. And it's important that we keep our hips and our knees, and then our knees and our ankles in alignment. And we're going to flex our feet and just gently open. This is an inner thigh and hip stretch. Gently open the knees to the side. It's kind of hard to get a good angle on this. Hopefully you can see that. So lifting up, really keeping the back and core strong. You can come all the way down or just stay on your forearms, or maybe this is enough. Feet are flexed, so with a lot of control, but it's intense. It's intense, and again, deepen your hips and your inner thigh. Frog pose. Try to use your breath and relax into the stretch. And slow and controlled, we're going to bring the feet in, kind of taking it back into wide leg child's pose. From here, we're going to come back up to tabletop. And one final stretch for the hips, taking the right knee to the right wrist, setting up for pigeon. Extending that left leg straight back, feeling the stretch and the opening in that right hip. If your hip doesn't come all the way to the ground, I encourage you to use a block or maybe even a rolled towel underneath that right hip, because what you want is your squared hips. You don't want to roll over. Hopefully you can see the difference between kind of rolling on your hip and being up in the middle here. So sometimes I like to engage the inner thighs, lift myself up, kind of find that middle, and then take it back down into the stretch. You can stay up here. You can come down on your elbows or even all the way down to the mat. You can keep holding pigeon. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can take it to mermaid, taking your left arm, reaching back for your left leg. You can even bring your right arm up, connect it with your left, open up, and now you're getting a stretch in the quadricep of that left leg as well. But again, only if you're up for a peak pose to test your flexibility. And slowly coming out, bringing it back to tabletop. And setting up on the other side, bringing the left knee to the left wrist, extending that right leg straight back, finding that middle. Remember, putting a towel or a block under that left hip if you need to level your hips out. Extend up, take it down as far as comfortable. Really making sure that right leg is straight back. Don't want it at an angle. Feeling the opening on the left leg. And again, hold the pigeon if you'd like to try mermaid on this side. Lifting up, reaching back to the right foot with the right hand. I like to hook it inside my elbow here as I set up, find my balance, lift my left arm, hook my right and lift up. It's not perfect, but I'm getting there. Engage the core, lengthen through the spine, stretching the hips and the quadriceps. Slow and with control. Take it down, taking it back into wide leg child's pose. Setting up for our final stretches. I always like to end with a twist and a happy baby. So rolling onto our back, bringing the knees into the chest. Let's extend that left leg straight out, taking the left arm, reach it to the right knee, pull it across your body, lengthen the right arm out. Getting a side twist here. Bringing it back to center. Knees back together. Extend the right arm, right leg out. Take the right arm, grab that left knee, pull it across your body. Reach out the left arm and look to the left for a deeper twist. Bring the knees into the chest. Last one for the hips, bringing the feet up, grabbing at the toes or on the outside of the feet, taking them straight down for happy baby. Relaxing the back down. Nice deep breath. And we're going to take a short savasana. We're going to bring our knees in, bringing our head up, making yourself into a little ball. Exhale into corpse pose. I'll just keep you here for a minute or two, but I encourage you to take longer if you can. You can pause the video or turn it off and just take rest. Let the practice settle into your body. Connect back with your breath. If you set an intention, perhaps reflect on that. Give yourself a body scan on how you feel after a practice. Taking a few moments of rest. Breathing in and breathing out. And that was a very short savasana, but bringing awareness back to your body, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Taking an inhale, reaching your arms up above your head, full body stretch. And as you exhale, bringing your knees into your chest, rolling to the right side of your body. And as you're ready, coming back to seated position where we started. Gently opening the eyes. If they're closed, we're going to reach the hands up, bringing the hands together and taking them down to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you can appreciate the time and thank yourself for doing this for you and for your health and your hips. I hope you feel better. Namaste.